site-specific for North Anna, we use the same models that we use for the DCD, the same NATRAM models for static analysis that considers same generic uniform soft-soil subgrade stiffness property. So the only difference is site-specific and standard design analysis was that the seismic loads were different. Now, this soft-soil subgrade stiffness was based on the response to DCD RI 3.813 that justified that they are used as a conservative. In DCD RI 3813, evaluation was based on comparison of results from analysis done for the soft soil conditions, characterized by the shear wave velocity of 300 meters per second. The hardest condition considered, which was the hard rock, with shear wave velocity of 1700 meters per second. The comparison of results, which are available in this DCD RAI response, showed that the models with the soft soil subgrade stiffness provided results at the envelope the results from the hard rock subgrade stiffness. There were few exceptions that you have noticed as well that were observed in results, but those results did not affect the design, the actual design of the base map, because maximum or the minimum moments used for the basement reinforcement were governed by the soft soil subgrade model results.
Excuse me, Joe Braverman from BNL. Could you just explain what is meant by max-min for moments? Is it related to concerning the earthquake north to south and south to north, for example, or something else?
So, what we meant by maximum minimum, because the base map, the reinforcement is so basically you have to use minimum bending or maximum bending moment to check the reinforcement in the top and the bottom of the.
So that's what I'm asking. What is meant by max and min moment? How do you get them?
I will talk more about that on the third slide. So
okay, thank you.
Kind of load comment. Okay.
Okay.
So on the second slide. To justify this for North Anna, we did the following. The first, we looked at the hard rock case. The shear wave velocity of the hard rock case is very close to the properties of North Anna, which is the shear wave velocity for North Anna at DCD, because the North Anna side was considered in the DCD as well, is around 1600 meters per second, so it's slightly lower. So the comparisons provided in DCD RAI are applicable for the North Anna in terms of the stiffness of the soil. Now, in order to go further, we took the results from the site-specific national analysis, the same results that were presented in the DCD RAI 3813, and we compared them with the DCD RAI results to show that basically the North Anna demands are much smaller than what the DCD demands. We also went to the structural reports for the reactor building and to get what kind of margins we have for the base map at North Anna site to show that those design margins are very high. So any uncertainties, if they are related to the subgrade stiffness, are small, as we can show comparing the results. And also they will be well covered by the available design margins we have. Now I can go to slide number 3, and basically this is to your question, Joe, regarding what was considered in DCDRI 3813 to justify the use of the soft soil springs. Basically, there were two cross sections where the maximum moments were maximum minimum moments, bending moments were calculated, MX and MY in two directions, and they are shown on the figure. those are sections that go through the center of close to the center of the RCCV, in the middle of the basement. And then two load combinations were considered with north-south earthquake being on positive and negative direction, towards south or towards north. Besides this horizontal seismic load, we also considered the dead load and the vertical load, 40% of that. So now, when we got those results, we did this comparison, and we are showing that on slide number 5. First, we calculate maximum minimum values of MX and MY moments obtained due to the two load combinations considered. So, and then we plot the results for 3 cases. One, the generic soft soil subgrade stiffness and VCD seismic load, which was the second one is also coming from the RAI, VCD RAI 3.813, which is the hard rock subgrade stiffness VCD seismic load. And the third curve represents the results from the site-specific analysis, which is obtained using a soft soil subgrade stiffness and North Anna seismic load. Besides this, we added red curves in the graphs representing the allowable bending moment capacity. These lines show the redistribution of the reinforcement in the basement, so you can see which moments were used really for the actual design of the basement. These allowable positive and negative bending moment capacities were taken from Appendix A of the DCD-RPFB stability report and also presented in the DCD-RI 3.893, supplement 3. And if you want to have more look into this, this report will be available for audit. Now, the calculation was simple calculation, considering only single reinforced section, not a double reinforced section, and using the simplified equation which is shown in the slide. Now, on slide 5, we can see the comparisons, basically for the moments in X and Y direction. And as you can see, the red lines show this, the DCD results, which were used for the design of the basement in the standard design. The blue lines are the results from North Anna, and the green line are the results using hard rock springs. So conclusions from looking at these graphs are the following. The consideration of soft soil subgrade stiffness is conservative. There are only few instances when the hard rock case is higher, and then the green line is higher than the red line. But as you can see, those exceedances really don't affect the design because the maximum moments still come from the red line. Also, distribution of the results obtained from the North Anna and the VCD are similar. So basically, the difference in the load distribution between North Anna and VCD does not have much of effect on the results. Also, the DCD standard design moments, the red lines envelope the North Anna results by significant margin. So to go even furthermore, we also provided in slide 6 the available design margins we have for the reactor building, fuel building basement. We have it under the reactor building portion, under the fuel building portion, and under the RCCV. You can see that the smallest margin is 50%, so it's higher than 50% available margins. So if there are any uncertainties related to what we used for as subgrade stiffness in the national analysis, they will be well enveloped by this design margin. So there's quite a bit of certainty that the design of the basement is adequate for that design. I don't know if you have any questions.
Ruben, this is Jisoo. I agree with you, the overall conclusion on slide 6, and probably you should find some place to document this assessment either in EFSA or in some other report that we can reference when we write the SCR. So this is an important exception identified in the DCD, and the issue was addressed by the RAI. I do have a different opinion about the first slide, the last bullet. If we can go back to the other one. The last bullet says design based on consideration of soft soil conditions is conservative. That is right. And then the reason is kind of not quite right, because max minimum moment used for design of basement reinforcement were always governed by soft soil subgrade model results. This because clause is not right. If you refer to the figure you just showed on slide number 5, the left figure, you can see clearly between -10 and 0 meters, there are 2 green peaks, either above or below, which the hard rock governs. But I agree with you, the rebars, the final design does have a lot of modeling to cover this exceedance, but that's reason really not right.
Okay. Yes, I understand that this is a small moment that just happened, and I think it comes from
So what I'm trying to convey is that the exceptions identified in the DCD review space is still a valid exception. And therefore, the North Angle 3 evaluation is something needed, not something we can forget about. But we need to document this finding somewhere.
Right. I mean, basically, what you have observed in slide 5 is coming from the DCD, and most probably the same reasoning was applied at that time. But
yeah, that's right.
Yes, but so. That's correct.
I didn't hear you. It seems there's a problem with the
I think you want us to document this in a report or something, so most probably we'll have a separate report for this, just for this study, documenting the result.
Somewhere. Joe and Amanda, do you have any preference, or should they put this in the FSR or something?
I don't think you need to put it in the FSAR, but some report, one of those reports.
Yeah.
But we will, we can discuss this in our SAR, why we think it's okay. Something we need to have that detail in the FSAR, because nobody will figure it out. What it is.
Okay.
Yeah, someplace in a technical report, the conclusion should be captured there. So that the same I think the commission can decide where its conclusion is captured in the technical report.
Hey, Ruben?
Yes?
Can I ask you, this is not related maybe directly to this issue, but if you have, like the reactor containment, okay, RCCV, the junction of the mat and RCCV. For the RCCV wall at that junction, was there any significant difference?
Oh, you mean in the results?
Yeah, I see in the mat, it's no...
Yeah, the RCCV portion is like between, I guess, -20 and 10.
I don't know where it is, but in the actually the wall, the containment wall.
Yeah, the DCD results show some influence actually. if you look at the plots for MX, the AA section, you can see that around -5 meters per second.
That's what the containment wall is?
I'm not sure. I have to check, but there is possibility.
But it just gives you the mat section.
I was just told that it is close to the pedestal. So because of the change, the stiffness.
Where you have gone up, what is that location? Like -10?
-5.
Near -10. What is that? Containment wall?
It's the pedestal.
What is the containment wall? Where?
Containment wall will be further, I guess.
But -15, -20 range.
That much of containment wall there.
It's the red peak you see at about -12. That's the containment on the positive side
So the minus.
of MX. Because it's at -15. Basically, it's at -15 and +15 is where the wall is.
Okay, so there is
The 30-meter containment.
there is some there. But my question is not on the mat. Did you look at the wall there? What is
You mean the effect of soil spring on the wall?
Yeah, I mean, you have master and run, right? For this situation. Then,
We'd have to go back and dig through the DCD to see if we have anything on the hard spring case for the wall.
yeah,
You can easily compare DCD's soft spring to DCD soft spring.
Yeah,
We could compare the NA3 and DCD results for the SCB wall. That's fairly easy. That's in the reports already, I believe. That's for two soft spring cases.
Yeah,
That is.
what's the difference between soft spring and the sediment?
I don't know if we have that part. We'd have to do some research. We'll take a look and probably we should be able to have what we have to show you at the audit.
Yeah, okay, fine.
This is Joe Braverman again. I didn't quite see, obviously, what is min-max moment. Is that from the two different load combinations or something else?
That's based on the section capacity. That's based on the section capacity, Joe.
No, not the capacity. You plot max bending moments and min bending moments. My question is, what does that correspond to?
Yeah, the maximum and minimum come from the two load combinations. So
Meaning one is plus earthquake in the north-south and the other one is minus. Is that it?
it means you are taking the results and you take the maximum of both runs and the minimum of both runs.
From the two load combinations shown. Okay, so I think the only difference between the two load combinations is plus or minus seismic, right? Okay, so that answers my question. Okay. The other item, am I correct? What you're plotting here, is it corresponding to, I think the DCD, they did first a study with complete contact between the base mat and the soil? Is that what it corresponds to? Or do you have the results shown corresponding? I believe there was some small uplift on one side of the building.
No, this is based on the fully bounded, like a linear analysis.
Okay. So maybe in your summary description that you place in some technical report, you may want to mention something also about that additional study I believe was performed in DCD, where I believe the uplift effect has some additional increase in loads. But you have substantial margin, it appears, but I think you should speak to that as well.
Yes, basically, we were planning to show that based on the SSI report, where we evaluated the effects of uplift on the seismic response, we have concluded that the uplift is small and does not affect the response, so maybe we can use the same also as an argument in this case regarding uplift.
Well, I was referring more to, I think, the DCD study, and to the specific REI, I think, 38-13, Because when you had full contact, I think it showed some of the springs in tension, right? And I believe during the DCD, you had to remove them in iterative fashion because you wouldn't have soul springs in tension there. And I believe the member forces went up somewhat.
Yes, our plan is to refer to the DCD results, use what we have right now in terms of what we obtained from the uplift evaluations in the SSI report, and use that argument in addition to the large available margins.
Okay, if you do that, though, then you're going to discuss how much of an increase in maybe the forces occur in the base net?
That will be based on the DCD loads, because we didn't do the analysis.
Oh, fine. Whatever load, we're just looking at the delta, or the effect of allowing uplift versus no uplift if it increases the forces. I'm just looking for you to capture that effect in your description that will go in the technical report, because that seems to be missing from these slides.
Yes, we will do.
Okay.
Ruben, George has a question.
Ruben, I have a question on slide 3. You are saying that the two sections AA and BB, due to foreign load explanation. And load explanation is provided as the plus and minus, and those refer to north, south direction. How about east west direction?
Yes, I think this was one of the questions during the DCD stage, and basically if you go to the DCD RAI 3813, you will see that this question came up, but more with respect to uplift conditions. So we wanted to follow what was done in the DCD-RI 3813 because we didn't have data for the rest available. But we can use that.
Let me try to answer for George. I think this is a kind of sensitivity study to compare the soft soil case and the hard soil case by demonstrating one direction seems to also answer the same question the other direction. That's probably my guess whether in the DCD space it didn't do all two directions.
And I think the reason for that is because the north-south direction is the mass is longer, it's not symmetrical, and will be more affected by the subway stiffness conditions than the east-west. But the study was done in the DCD-RAI, but that evaluation was based on the uplift results, not this one, which are more sensitive actually to the three directions of the.
This is so no, I have a question. Looking at slide 5, the figures in the slide 5, to provide a comparison between DCD and the Northern 3 soft soil case. The graphic shows that the Northern soft soil uses the moment much smaller than those soft soil. Yeah, so I thought that soft soil conditions are the same for both cases, DCD and the Northern 3. The only differences are the input load, and Northern 3 produces the higher input, seismic input, and this graph shows the Northern moment is smaller than the DCD moment. Could you explain that?
That is correct. There were some exceedances in the nocturnal loads with respect to the DCD loads, but those were in a higher elevation. If you look at the bounding reports where we compare the shear and the bending moments, especially the bending moments at the base elevation, you will see that they are much smaller than the DCD load. The reasons for that is because the DCD was based on the surface-mounted model. So basically here we consider the embedment, and the actual demands on the basement are much smaller at North Tana than what was the basis for the DCD for the standard design.
Actually, there are a couple other things, can add to this effect. One is the DCD the load considers several load soil cases. North Tana 3 considered just lower bound, the best endemic, and the upper bound is only basically capture North Tana 3 sites. DCD capture more soil sites. Another reason I think is, as Ruben said at the beginning, the high frequency in input motion affects more on the in the upper levels. The lower level is more dominated by the low frequency input motion with the DCD cover.
Correct. I mean, the first mode will be the one that is excited more and affects the basement loads. In the first mode, really, we don't excite it that much. Because the energy content in the first mode that are small, the input motion.
In other words, the low frequency components pretty much indicate in this case.
Yes, and if you can go to the FSAR now, the markup, the section 3A18.1.1, and also you can go to the bounding report, SCR DMN 19, where we have provided comparison of the bounding loads, site-specific loads, and DCD loads. You can see if you go to the basement elevation, the loads are significantly lower. So the results are reflecting those comparisons.
Luben?
Yes?
Is this, first let's finish this topic. Is this done? Do you have any more questions? Okay. Jinshu, do you have any more question on this?
No, I was thinking that Ruben will provide or ask a report to document what we just talked about. Yeah.
Can I read? This is Skip Schumann. Can I repeat back what I think we said we would do? So put the conclusions in some technical report. The staff is okay with a standalone report, which we think would be better, because if you remember, there is an action item that says we need to keep all the report revs in sync, and every time we rev one of the other reports, it may affect some others. So we'll probably go with a standalone report. And help me with this one, Manis. You want to see the same type of information at the containment wall? Did I capture that right?
Yeah, at the containment wall at the junction of MAT.
Containment wall at MAT. And we need to address the springs that are in tension in this same report.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the actions I had. I just wanted to repeat them back.
How much of an increase uplift and no uplift? I guess.
Right, that comes from.
Okay, I'm sorry, Manis. I just wanted to make sure before we left this that I had all those right.
Yeah, okay. No, you got it right. And let's see, anything else on this?
On this issue, I know you are going to provide a detailed technical report to stand alone or big level of and I think and I wonder if you are considering capturing the high level conclusion of this exercise or study somewhere in high level, because North Tana 3 is a hazard site.
Yeah, okay, but we'll have to see what is in right now in the current MSR. But I think it's any other report, it should be fine, but if we think that it should be, this conclusion should be in the FSR, we have to discuss it among ourselves before we... Let's discuss where it would be the best. But anyway, we might want to look at if you want.
Right, yeah. But there should be some points to the terminal in the FSR. That'll be helpful. The point.
So we'll see.
That's a place where you reference, so that's what you're talking about.